Oh, the music playing in the background. It must be the exciting time that we're here for. Soulbirth, great to have you here, of course, Faye. And today, happy almost, hang on, let's do this properly. Let's do this. Happy Lunar Year Eve.
This is correct.
Boom, boom, right?
Boom,
we're there.
You got it right.
Yeah, well I have my moments.
Yeah, and funny that you should say that. Not about having the moments, because you have them all the time, but but the eve of the Lunar New Year, because that's what we're talking about today.
Oh, gee, it's almost like I planned it. I don't plan anything.
EST, you've been hanging around me too long.
Or I did maybe I typed the title in. Maybe that could have been it too.
Maybe.
Great to see you, as always. And I'm ready for this show. And then we've kind of built up a bit of anticipation on this one, haven't we? Because we've been talking about it in the weeks leading up.
So I am because you couldn't wait to get into this one, could you? You've been champing at the bit for weeks.
Now I'm going to jump straight into that. We've got all sorts of things coming in. There's comments coming in through other feeds, which we'll get later on. So I appreciate that. Is great. All right. Well, let's talk about it. Let's get all lunar.
Yes,
tick.
Lunar tick. Yeah, well, that's how that got its name.
Is that right?
People going crazy on the full moon.
Of course they did. I've never thought about that before in my life.
And people like to dismiss that, but, when I was nursing at the hospital and working in the mental health thing, wards, night duty on the psych ward is not fun.
No way.
On the full moon.
And on the full moon, we all talk about it, and often people think it's a fallacy. But I've seen it, and I wasn't on a mental health ward. I just, had someone in my life once who used to, every time the old full moon was out, I'm waiting for the howling, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's also because the full moon, affects the tides. So also with childbirth, you had a lot of women going into labour or having their waters break on the full moon.
Okay, well, before we go into the other bits of the lunar bit, let's talk about the childbirth. I mean, this is, as I understand, this is an exciting year to be having a baby.
Ooh, it's always a fun time to be having a baby.
A baby?
Yes, for the parents to be.
Well, for them, look, it's exciting, it's hectic, it's a total change of your life. Yeah. There's so much going on there. But
it's a very transformative time, because your life, if it's your first, it will change your life completely and radically.
Never be the same again, in an awesome way.
Hopefully in good ways, yes.
hopefully. Yeah, we'll go with that.
The lack of sleep is one thing, but but man, got to start thinking about another human being too.
True.
So it changes.
Well, look, I had my beautiful babies years ago, but I'm still haven't got the sleep thing organised. I still can't do it.
No, wait.
So I run on 5 hours pretty constantly.
Oh, same.
It's just not good for you.
We're wired differently.
We are.
Like too much to do. We're too passionate about life. We've got to get out there and do stuff.
Sometimes I think I'm wired directly into the power plug, right? Like 240 volts, it's all going on. Or
really?
maybe the big box outside. I'm not
dear.
Sure. Well, that's what happened to my hair. That's my thing.
Yeah, right. I was going to ask that, but I thought that might be a bit rude.
No, I felt it. Okay, I could tell you were thinking it. Well, let's talk about childbirth first, right?
Okay.
As our first little foray into the lunar world. So, this is going to be a transformative year.
It is. Because
tell me why.
Well, because it's going to be we're moving into the year of the snake, the wood snake to be precise.
The what? The wood snake?
The wood snake.
Okay, I thought you said the good one.
Oh, well, it will be a good one.
Yeah, I now got the assumption that some snakes are good, some are evil, right?
Well, I mean, depends on how you look at snakes. I have lots of friends that are terrified of snakes. So
I'm one of them, yeah. I don't care about sort of other animals and kind of thing. I'm normally pretty good with all of that. I've had to deal with snakes, remove them and all kind of thing. It's not something I really enjoy. But there is one thing that is absolutely consistent about my treatment of snakes. Okay, the moment I see them, I dance like Peter Garrett for just a few seconds. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've got arms, legs flying everywhere.
The opposite to what you should be doing.
Yeah, exactly. But it scares the bit out of me.
Oh, okay.
So, and then I've just got, cool. Now I've got to deal with it. So
yeah, it's interesting how we all react to different things like that. Because when I see something like that, I just freeze. That's that adrenaline reaction. You either pick up and run or you freeze on the spot. And luckily I freeze because I have come very close and personal to a tiger snake sitting, basking on a rock. And when I was out hiking and and it looked up and it was like hissing at me and I'm like, it was right here. And I'm thinking, okay, don't move.
Well, this has nothing to do with childbirth. So, completely inappropriate for this show. But, but in a way. So once, many, many years ago, as far as, you love your kids and you protect your kids, I actually had to get a brown snake on the end of a pool cue to get it out of my son's room. Oh, so, beautiful living in the bush. But the negative is these things happen. So,
sure, we've all got lots of stories about snakes.
I'm sure. But I'm just saying, sometimes you got to protect your babies. So, with your kids.
However, snakes, whenever I see a snake, I think of transformation because that's what snakes represent.
I like that.
So, this is the year of transformation because, snakes, as they grow bigger, they shed their skin. And they leave all their old stuff behind.
I get it. Now I get it.
You get it. The pennies dropped.
With me. Okay. It was a slow drop. We've just come back from a long weekend. It takes a while for this to fire up again.
Still gearing up.
I am. There's nice strong coffee in the cup.
Oh, okay. Got to get into second gear yet.
Damn straight. Okay, so transformation. We're shedding that skin. We're letting go of the nasty snake. We're going on the positive route. So this year, I mean, what's I was going to say what's in store for us, but what are our opportunities?
Well, so this year, starting tomorrow, tomorrow is the beginning of the new lunar year, which is the 29th of January into 2025. And people might be asking, why does the Chinese New Year start on a different date to our New Year?
Yeah, I often have heard that question.
Yeah, so because it's not based on the same, our calendar works differently. So the Lunar New Year is based on usually the second new moon after the northern winter solstice.
Okay. So, there you go. Because I was reading, that's what I was doing. I wasn't even hearing. I was reading something the other day about the fact that the traditional New Year's is actually completely inaccurate. And back in the day, New Year's was actually the beginning of spring.
Yeah, so it's all about depending on which calendar you follow.
Exactly. But the lunar one's pretty consistent. Okay, that's all happening, it obviously changes at times, but it's consistent around that time of the year.
It is, and millions of people around the world celebrate the Lunar New Year. So, a lot of the Asian countries do.
Absolutely.
And because I'm into the feng shui, that was based in China. So it's a Chinese New Year, but it's actually the Lunar New Year.
Spot on.
It's around everywhere. And it changes every year because of the fact that the new moon lands on a different date. So that's why people go, but how come it's this date or that date?
Oh, yeah, well, I was a bit confused by that. I really was because I had to think to myself, look, I know it's all, but I've heard of that being in February. And I'm thinking, hang on.
Because next year it will be. Next year it starts on the 16th of Feb.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Or 17th, sorry, because this year finishes on the 16th. And so the new year next year will start on the 17th of February and it will be the year of the fire horse.
This is confusing. I'm going to need a Venn diagram. I really am.
He's checked out.
All right. Well,
we'll just focus on this year.
Let's stick to this year. So, okay. Year of opportunity, I reckon.
It is, totally.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Shedding that skin, getting rid of the yucky from last year, or maybe the positive from last year, but just a new beginning, right?
Exactly. So, and always with new moons, it's an opportunity for new beginnings. So we can sort of plant the seed and where we'd like to go or what we'd like to attract into our life.
Cool.
And so with the snake, it's about shedding what doesn't serve us any longer before we move forward. So it's a great way to be. Like this year is a really beautiful time to move forward now without all that baggage that we've been struggling to let go of.
Yeah, well, and it's such an important thing to let go of that baggage, right? Like, don't let experiences live rent-free in your head.
No, that's right.
It's a big thing. And not we all do it. So many of us do it. The smart ones don't, okay? Actually, this is a great opportunity probably to throw forward too. I noticed the feeds are sort of popping up on the different feeds. So that being the case, if you've got any questions or comments, chuck them on there.
Yes,
and I will be happy to bring them up on the screen. Of course, Faye being, the person in the know, she can answer all these questions and we'll go from there. Yeah?
Let's hope.
Let's hope.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Send her a curly one. Come on.
Yeah, throw your questions in there.
Under pressure.
And remind me too that I don't forget to cover it because I want to cover, what's relevant to people. So,
yeah, well, I mean, let's face it. You and I get in here, we have these chats, and this is the wonderful thing I think that I love about Edge is we have real conversations. So sometimes they fly off this way, that way, whatever.
Yeah, I
so
love our chats.
We don't stick to the point, but I think it's a far greater way to be. It's more real in my eyes.
Oh, it is. It is. Yeah. Getting led down different paths and distracted along the way. That's life, isn't it?
That's life. Life doesn't run to a script. Why would we?
No,
right?
no, exactly.
So it wouldn't make any sense. All right, well, let's go forward with that. So New Year, I know we've passed the other one, but we're hitting the Lunar New Year.
Yes, so Lunar New Year tomorrow. So it's a good time to start planning what you would like to attract into your life for this year because this is going to be the year of manifestation and abundance if you play your cards right. If you put the energy into it.
Yep.
So yeah, and if you're willing to go inwards, this is the key this year, is to actually go inwards to create what you want. So up till now, it's all been busy out there doing to create what you wanted, and cleaning things up. Whereas now it's about inwards. So doing the space clearing within us.
Okay, not finding the meaning in things, more cleaning out the rubbish or cleaning out the things that don't serve you.
Well, it's still good to get rid of, so I'm always a big fan of decluttering. So, and this is a perfect time of year to actually, get in there and do your decluttering.
Better keep you out of the back office then. I'm telling you right now. It's getting a bit scary.
I don't even want to look there.
No, we'll lock the door, right?
I know. But, as you clear stuff out, it makes way for the new to come in.
So true.
Yeah, so even if you start small, just take a drawer or a cupboard and start cleaning that out and put things in their rightful place and get rid of things that you no longer require.
Yep.
Then that's the starting point for everything, so that you can then move forward.
It's so true. I moved into a new place recently, right? And there's been a wardrobe that I've been thinking I need to, it's got some stuff in there. I need to clear that out and clean it out and all that sort of stuff. And I'll keep walking past it. I walk past it. I walk past it. Last week, come on.
Yeah.
Got in there. Sorted it out. Took me, honestly, maybe 10 minutes. Gave it a nice wipe out. Got the old spray and did it all properly. And then I put the clothes in there. And I feel so much better.
There you go.
Right? And how many times? Yes. And it's a small job. Honestly, the whole thing took me I'll go 10 minutes tops.
Yeah. But it's about taking those bite-sized chunks so that you can deal with it, so it's not too much, because it can be overwhelming. So, for instance, I said to you when I came in this morning how great I feel today. It's because I just had a rent inspection. So nothing like a rent inspection to make you declutter and tidy and get everything perfect.
Yep.
So I'm feeling amazing, because my house at the moment looks amazing inside and out.
I don't anymore, but years ago I used to always have someone who would come to my home and clean, just once a fortnight for 2 hours, right? Yep. And I did it mainly for complete psychological reasons, because I'd come home and I'd just go,
it feels so good, doesn't it?
Feels so good. Yeah. You don't have to, I have to do the mopping, I don't have to, but these things are exactly right. It's a different mindset, right? And not everyone's got the ability to get someone in to help, or, that's sort of then, or maybe not convenient, whatever. But even if you do something small and you do it yourself, just that freshness of things. And a house inspection is horrible. The rent inspection is horrible. Well, I think awful. Anyway.
But I try to reframe it in my mind and think of the positive. And it's I know I always feel amazing afterwards, because, what other time do you spend so much time getting everything nice, both inside and outside the house? And so, yes, mammoth effort pays off, because now you feel amazing.
Completely agree. And I think reframing it is such an incredibly important thing to do, because you can go, you can build up the anxiety and all of that towards it. But afterward, let's work on the goal. At the end of the day, it's going to, your home, where you're staying and where you've nested away, you feel so much better, right?
You do. And so I feel like, I'm ready for Lunar New Year.
And on that front, our friend Travis gets very emotional about being called Chinese New Year. Nothing against Chinese people, but in any way, shape or form. But the fact is that his family's from another Asian country, and of course they celebrate it. So it's always the Lunar New Year, and so many. And I've noticed that a lot of people from Asian countries all through, we're talking about Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, all of that. They're celebrating this great event.
Yeah.
So, let's not just pinch it for the Chinese.
I know. I have to rethink, because I'm so hooked into, thinking about it from the feng shui perspective. Yeah. So, I've had that crowd into me.
It makes sense. I mean, and if that's your passion, it makes complete sense to me. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And even feng shui, that's all about energy. It's just the movement of energy. So there are many other cultures that practice similar kinds of energy work, because it's movement of, the furniture, it's placement and design. So how to create better chi flow in your environment. So,
chi flow.
Chi flow. Ooh. Do you know that word? It sounds like something you get at a cafe, doesn't it?
Chi flow. It does sound like a kind of coffee, doesn't it? Right?
It's like a chai. But it's chi. It's all about getting healthy chi flow through your home or office, or, through the radio station.
Yeah, okay.
So positioning things in a way that it doesn't block the energy flow. So the energy all flows. And that's why clearing the clutter is good, because, if you've got clutter, then energy has to try and find a way around it or over it.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. So, okay, using that opportunity, Lunar New Year, maybe do some decluttering rather. So, because,
absolutely.
Okay, things always go better when they're flowing, right? Okay, stop, start doesn't really work, okay? We all love that in traffic, right? So how about you make some changes, some very basic things, small changes that will actually increase your flow in your life. I like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's interesting because coming back to, I always love the way you somehow bring it back to cars, talking about the traffic.
Anyway, I can.
You too. But it's a great analogy once again. So you're very helpful. Thank you.
I do my best. No, it's funny.
Because it is like if you're driving and you're trying to get somewhere and you're constantly getting red lights, it's really it blocks the chi flow, doesn't it?
It really does.
And it's really.
I had to go, didn't have to go. I went to my friend's place the other day and they're all the way down in Baldivis, okay? And I looked at the old map thing and it was just on the maps, it was just red block, the traffic. And I thought, if I get on that freeway and I'm just going stop, start, okay, it is going to do my head in.
Yep.
So I literally went all the way down the coast.
Yep.
And you know what? I stopped a few times, obviously, but okay, all the way to the coast. I've got the ocean to my right there. I'm enjoying it. We're flowing along. The entire trip took 4 minutes longer than it would have had I gone the straight path with the stop, start. But I got there in such a better frame of mind.
So it's all about the journey, isn't it?
It really is. You'd rather have the sea air floating my way than be looking at the same number plate for all of those days of time. So mindset, right?
Absolutely. And one route was all blockages and the other, the chi was flowing. You were flowing with the traffic, flowing with the energy. So you arrive in a better state.
Yeah.
So
look at that. I'm just 2 points off being a monk. I've got that chi
thing.
You're
getting close, aren't you? Jeez.
So not. If you believe that, you believe it, innit? Oh, dear.
That's right. You can pretend.
But I love the concept of it. And I think that, and for me, being a very skeptical person in a natural sense, like to open myself up to that has been a really positive change. Okay, because the logical part of me would have got okay, the freeway is the straightest path. Okay, but so that's the logical way to go.
It is,
but it wasn't even about the speed. I knew it would take me longer to go the other way. I thought, okay, what is going to be the path which will give me actually the most pleasant journey? And I got there in a lot better mood. And it's just such a simple thing. But
with the least resistance.
Yep, yeah.
Which is the thing about placing things around in the building so that, the chi flow can flow around with grace and ease with the least resistance.
Yep.
So it's not coming up against blocks because as people, we like to put things in the way all the time. We build our buildings, so the natural chi flow in the environment can't get past our buildings. So we have to create other ways for it to detour.
When here's a strange one for you. Okay, when you move house, okay.
Oh yeah, done that a few times.
We've all done that. And okay, so your furniture out of house A doesn't suit B, right?
No, never does it?
As far as the flow or the size or whatever. And you get determined and you start putting this furniture in silly places. Just so I'll make it fit kind of thing, right?
Couch on the side.
Oh yeah, pretty much. But then the house hasn't got the flow to it. You can't,
that's right.
cruise on through it. Yeah. Like, whereas, guess what? Like, and I mean, again, it comes down to money, and there's so many different pressures in life, right? But okay, you could just check the thing on Marketplace, pick up another one off Marketplace for pretty much the same price, right?
Yeah.
Something that will suit your new space.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Marketplace. I've had to use it so many times because I've moved so many times.
And it just freshens up your place. And
it does. And it's practicing the art of non-attachment as well, not getting attached to pieces, because then when you do move house, it's easier to let go of it because that suited the old place. But now it's time to get something new and fresh in, even if it's not new, it's secondhand, but you can make it new.
Well, it's new to you.
New to me, that's right. Yeah. To the person. Yeah.
So, I think there's something to be said about that. And we often rationalise these things. And maybe we should just move on.
We do, exactly. You just got to be aware when you do bring secondhand furniture in, you might want to do an energy clearance of the furniture because furniture holds impressions from the previous people. So always good to clear the energies.
If they've got very big butts, then it does. It carries an impression.
A big impression.
Normally a big U sort of shape, I
wasn't talking about that kind of impression.
I know. Okay. How do you do that?
Well, energetically, so I always sort of set my intention that I'm clearing the energy. So whenever anything new comes in or old, new or old, doesn't matter because even new furniture can hold negative impressions depending on who was, because if somebody was making the furniture and they had an, horrible angry argument with their wife or partner that morning as they're hammering nails into the furniture, they put their negative impressions into the furniture. And so then when it gets sold on, that person receiving the furniture can have all this angry energy in the furniture.
Well, you probably have to cleanse all your furniture now, because let's face it, most of it comes from China, and you know, the working conditions over there aren't exactly fun and smiley.
Yeah.
So put some positivity in there, right?
Yeah, for sure. You never know where things come from, so it's best I always, just as a general rule, always energy clear my house, my furniture, everything new that comes into my being.
Your being. Well, first and foremost, just want to mention something. I'm not having to go at the Chinese at all. I've just mentioned two things because I'm reading a lot about the Chinese economy, and maybe that's what's in my head. But okay, on the side note of this is, okay, when you bring a new partner into your life, which I am definitely not going to do.
Really?
No,
never.
Not anytime soon. That's for sure. But okay, when I've had relationships and one relationship's ended and another one starts whenever you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Always the women in my life have had issues with my furniture, right? And they want it moved on.
So I wonder what that's saying then, because remember, other people reflect back to us something that we need to address.
Now,
so.
I think I have bloody good taste in furniture, right? Okay. So it's not like I've got rubbish stuff or whatever. I've got nice stuff, you know, and I think about the style of it and comfort of it, all those things. So, but they don't like the energy of the past. So every female partner that you get in, I'm supposed it's the same for male partner. I don't know, because I've never had one, don't want one, right? But okay. So for every partner I've had, she said, no, I don't want the energy of your ex in the house.
Right. So that's why it's important to clear the energies. So anytime there's a life transformation happening or something old is leaving, then it's good to do a complete energy clear. You know, that's why I do with my feng shui consultations too, is that I'm doing energy clearances of properties, because there's so many different energies that can be stuck.
I really like that. Okay. Where were you when I need you? Jeez, I don't know. Come on.
I'm here now.
You are. This is true.
I could change your whole idea about this relationship thing. If we do an energy balance, you never know. You might have the perfect person turn up tomorrow.
Yeah. Look, I never say never. When I say things like that, I'm tongue in cheek.
I know.
Absolutely. I'm. You know what I'm open to in life? Happiness and joy. Right.
You know where that comes from?
Within.
So we've got to make ourselves happy. We've got to fall in love with ourselves and who we are, and radiate joy and unconditional love out there. And then you attract, you know, something to match your vibrational frequency. And that's
don't be looking at somebody else.
No, exactly. That's why it's so important to keep your energies clear, both inwards and outwards. So clearing our environment, clearing away all the negative energies that might be stuck there.
Yep.
Getting rid of them, sending them on, and then filling the space with love and light. And anything else that you want to put in there, set your intention, and also doing the same within yourself. So, you know, space clearing your inners as well, like clearing your mind of all the negative thoughts and patterns that you've got, clearing them out. And
as a man, this is how I think of it, okay? You get the high-pressure hose, okay?
Right.
Okay, you can fix everything with high-pressure hoses.
Can you now?
Yeah. Oh, you can clean anything with those puppies, right? Sometimes you'll take the paint off, but you know, like you feel better. I don't know what, like it could be cleaning the pavement, it could be cleaning furniture, it could be cleaning anything, right? But it is, there you go. That's the Aaron Malloy industrial feng shui.
Well, there you go. So now you can turn that around and visualize. This is where we talked about visualization.
Yep.
So in your mind, just visualize this high pressure hose going through your mind and hosing out anything that you no longer require, and just seeing it blasted away. And see? And then
I'm going to need one of those big industrial ones with a big diesel engine on the side, I reckon, for my mess. But
we'll visualise that then.
I could do that.
And see it all crystal clear after it's all gone, cleaned away all that muck. I'm sorry, Aaron.
She used the word muck. Anyway, it's
well, you're the one that's admitted it.
I know. Okay, talking about birth here. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because about clearing the energy of the space and then the positive,
definitely,
energy of the space. Full stop. So, as I've said to you many times before I met you, before we had these conversations, I was very much anti-home birth. I'm absolutely pro-home birth now. Like flipped, boom.
Amazing what a bit of education and empowerment does, isn't it?
And that's, you bang on the money there, okay? Education, like what you don't know, the old story, right? So educate yourself. This is the thing. Whatever... and that doesn't mean bury yourself in books. I mean, might mean for some people, but for me, it's talking to people who have that expert knowledge, or even the people who will question me in such a way that I will go, challenge to myself, and off I'll go to find out more. Okay? And then you look within, right?
Yeah. So it's all about those conversations, isn't it? And opening our mind in order to receive, whatever information comes through and filter it and, check it out for yourself.
Check it out.
See how it resonates with
not
you.
not just a great song from John Cougar Mellencamp. Check it out. Might play that later.
Oh,
hey, well, I love it. Okay, but when we're talking about the spaces, right? So we've talked about hospitals before. We've talked about we haven't talked about birthing centres as much. Okay,
I love birthing centres.
Well, the reason I bring them up is because that's a good spot that you could probably bring in your own energy, right?
Yeah, totally. Well, you can to any birthing space.
Yeah, course,
that's the thing. Like I've taught feng shui for birth. Would you believe it?
No, I'm not surprised.
I created feng shui for birth because I can see a place to applying feng shui principles to the birthing space, because I'm a big advocate of changing the energy of the room. So even if you're birthing in the hospital, you can go in and change the room around. And I know I've told you that before, how, as you find a room isn't how it has to stay. Like you have permission, you're allowed to move the furniture. You can push the bed to the side, put the mattress on the floor, dim the lights, bring in things from home to make it more homely and make it feel like, relaxing and, conducive to giving birth, because it's a really, intimate experience.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't think there is anything more intimate. I really don't think. And then,
apart from how you got the baby in there. But
well, maybe not, because I don't know. There's more people involved now.
But that's why I'm really a big fan of conscious conception too, creating the beautiful, loving space to create the baby in the first place, so that you're doing it by intention and calling the baby in and creating this beautiful environment to welcome the baby in.
Yep.
And then, as the baby comes in, so the baby should come out into this beautiful held space of love, unconditional love.
Yeah. Come into Barry White, not Chris Brown. I get it. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, cool.
But instead of coming into this sterile environment that's bright lights and clanging and and all this noise and strangers, instead of that, coming into this beautiful held space where you feel safe and warm. It's dim lights because it's not going to affect your eyes as much, and just the warmth and feeling the people that you love around you. And so the first person who touches you is your mother or father or somebody who loves you, so imprinting their love onto you. So
it's a great thing. It really is. A question, I'm going to talk about different cultures, right? Okay, with different cultures, say in a birthing suite or a hospital or whatever the situation, okay. I can imagine that cultures are very, very different and the music would be very, very different.
Definitely.
So, I mean, I don't want you to run through each individual culture, but, what are your thoughts about that? Like as far as how it influences, say, the baby and the journey in?
Oh, well, it definitely affects, or, it creates whatever the baby's meant to have, actually, the experience. Because, like, say, for instance, if you've got a Muslim woman giving birth, they're usually very quiet. They don't divulge anything. They're very private. So you don't hear much at all, any sound coming from the room. And then the baby just arrives and they're there, and it's very much a woman's business. Whereas then you get the Italians. Italian culture is very vocal. So you hear everything, like, wailing, and usually because they're just letting go. And I love that because Italians are so passionate. And so
exactly. The Latin passion is pretty awesome.
Exactly. And then, there's all different cultures and different ways of bringing babies in.
Yeah.
And it's all perfect for that culture. And so how the parents brought the baby in, I mean, I believe that the baby chooses the parents for whatever experiences it needs for that. So then, the pregnancy and birth journey will be reflective of what they've chosen.
Makes sense.
And again, then you can always educate and empower the couple to birth as lovingly as possible and hold a beautiful space. But then it's up to them with their cultural beliefs to create whatever space is right for them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of where I was going. I think that, I've not been involved in a lot of cultural births, all that sort of carry on, but I mean, obviously each culture has their traditions, their, as I say, their music, their style things, their privacy, all of these things. It must be, I mean, it's a very unique situation to be a midwife in that. I can imagine.
Such an honour to
there,
be
there you go.
birth,
That's exactly what I was going to say. What an incredible honour to be part of that.
It really is. It's a labour of love, really. I really feel like it's a very special calling.
Yep.
And if you don't love what you're doing, you're in the wrong job. It's not really a job to me. It's a profession. Well, it is a labour of love.
Yeah, of course.
You get called to do it, and it's more than being an obstetric nurse, because anybody can go into nursing and be an obstetric or medical
Jeez, all that blood and the greasy stuff. No, not interested. No, couldn't do it. I'm not made of the right stuff.
But this is why I love home birth and birth centre births, because you can actually practice the true art of midwifery, which is really being with women, and you're not interfering and medicalising it. You're holding space, you're sitting there, you're tuning into the woman and the baby and what's going on, and just creating a beautiful space, and you're there holding the energy for a safe container for birth. And then if you feel anything is wrong, then you act and you can check on things, and you've got the expertise to know what you're looking for.
Sure.
And then you can get help if you need to, or transfer to a hospital.
Gotcha. Well, as long as the right container is not Tupperware, I'm happy. All right.
As long as the colour lid is right.
Yes. So if you're in a situation where you're assisting people with their birth, right? And when I say people, I mean women, because only women can have babies, right? Okay. I'd like to say that whenever possible. And it's an absolutely beautiful thing, and it is the greatest gift that a human being could have, and you're very lucky to be a woman to do that. So what can you do as a person who works in your field, who does what you do? What do you go in and advise people about their feng shui for the room, or how does it work?
Yeah, so if people ask me, I do consulting.
You don't force your opinions on people.
No, of course not. No. And I have run workshops in the past for birth workers, and which is something I'll probably do again. But to reach people globally, it'll probably be something online, Connect or whatever. But definitely there's so much that I can sort of teach you about creating space and changing the room around, energetically cleansing the room too. There's so many feng shui tips that you can do to actually create the most empowering and powerful position for women to be in, so that they're in control of their birth. Yeah, so there's a lot you can do to the environment to make it feel safe.
Maybe you should get out there and be making a video on all of that. I think
I should be.
You really should.
Yeah, I should. This is the year for it. This is the year.
It really is the year. Shed that skin. Come on. No, but like I've said before, I mean, I had no idea you could change these things.
Yeah.
I just thought you had to go in, not do as you told as such, because that doesn't never work for me. But, you had to fit in with.
Yeah, most people think that too, but the system is there to tell you how to birth in their system.
Yep.
They're not there to actually say, well, what do you want? Unless you've got a beautiful midwife or doctor that actually supports your choices, and and you can get some amazing midwives and doctors that are there to help you have the journey that you want. But if you don't ask for it, you might not get it. And most people don't know that they can ask. The
doctors involved in the births of my children have an absolutely 100% not showing up record.
Oh,
right? Yeah,
really?
No, none of them got there on time.
Oh,
none of them got there.
Maybe they weren't meant to. Maybe your babies didn't want them there.
Very likely. And I saw the other side of things. I saw how incredible the midwives were, and I thought to myself, like, why am I paying this person? Like, why am I bothering paying a doctor? If they're not going to be there.
Well, it depends on why you get the doctor involved. If you're going private, obviously you do. But, if birth goes ahead, like if it's a normal natural pregnancy that, no medical conditions, then there's no need for a doctor as such to be there. You can, because midwives are experts in midwifery care for normal physiological birth. But as soon as there's a problem, then that's when you need the doctor.
Okay. But again, lack of education.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought, and my wife thought, we've got to have a doctor. Okay. Tick. We need this person, tick, tick, tick. And at no point do we think, we need a midwife.
Yeah.
Right?
Because most people don't even realise that midwives are a profession unto their own, not until you start the childbirth journey. Yeah.
Okay.
I know, in India, for instance, because I've been over there many times speaking at birth conferences, and they never had midwives. They've only just in the last 5 or so years started training midwives. Yeah, they had obstetric nurses and doulas, but they never had midwives.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, again, define the difference between a doula and a midwife.
Oh, well, the difference is that a midwife is medically trained.
Yep.
She's a specialist in her profession to actually be there. She's the legal person for birth. A doula is a birth support person. She's, trained to be with women. Some doulas aren't trained as such, but because like my mum was my doula for all my births. Right. An amazing one too, because she was my natural therapist and amazing companion, so she was there as my doula. Whereas now you can train to be a doula, but you're still not not medically trained, and you're not legally responsible for anything.
Okay.
So whereas a midwife is.
Yeah, and there were the changes recently a few months ago as far as the legalities of home birth with what was the upshot of all that again?
Oh, well, it means that now midwives can get legal cover for home birth. Whereas
it's a big difference. Oh, it's a huge thing.
Yeah. Hopefully it's affordable though, because before it was just totally out of the reach because you don't earn enough. You don't earn anything like an obstetrician earns, and you can't pay exorbitant fees for the cover. So hopefully that's changed the amount, but now it means that they can legally attend home births. Whereas before, if anything happened, they weren't covered.
Bit out of their time. There's a lot to it. There's so much to it.
Yeah, there certainly is.
We're going to get away from babies for a minute. I know it's soul birth, but maybe we'll just get back to the soul side of things. So, all right, let's. I like to get down to tin tacks. Let's get practical. What can I do? Right.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, New Year, Lunar, away we go. What can I do that's going to transform? Maybe just give it a bit of a jolt. The rest of my year.
Well, the best thing that I'd love to advise everybody listening, this is a year of really going within, because if we want to really make the most of this year, we need to drop in more, start having a conversation within ourselves and actually sitting and asking for, asking the questions for what we want, and then being open to hearing what's coming through, because this is a year of being led by your intuition. So it's about trusting your intuition more and being soul-led through, your journey this year.
Well, I think the word that you've just hit there, which is the most important, is trust. Okay, I think we've all got intuition.
Yeah, we do. It's whether you listen to it or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people have been taught not to because, you listen to an outer voice, oh, we know better, you do as you're told, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, so quieten the outer noise and actually start checking in with yourself, because you know what's right for you.
You really do.
Yeah.
And so often your subconscious level knows, you know what's best, but the little guy on your shoulder says, no, no, and it talks. You talk yourself out of your intuition.
I know. So you don't believe in it, or you think you're just imagining things, but you're not.
It's lack of confidence, isn't it?
It is.
Yourself,
so
backing yourself.
Yeah, so try to make that a new thing for this year, is to actually meditate more and go within, listen to what's coming through and trust it, and then be led by that. And, if you go with that this year, you'll probably experience a lot of success, because this is a year for success and abundance. Yay for that. And
abundance doesn't have to be financially motivated or
but that
belonging.
would be good too.
Yeah. We'd all like a little bit of abundance in that department.
Exactly.
But, I look at it from the abundance point of view. Of financial success, for argument's sake, as it gives you a lot more freedom. So it's not actually the articles you buy or this or that or the number that's attached to your name.
No,
it's the fact that you can go, I have the freedom to do this. I'm not being held back by the lack of financial sort of funds or abilities there. So abundance is a lot of different things.
It is. So like when we look at it from a feng shui perspective, this is where I love feng shui, because we can overlay the bagua, which is the 8 sectors. We've got eight areas of life. Yeah. And so when you overlay that over the house, then you can look at where your wealth sector is. So it's in the southeast sector. And so you can then activate the southeast sector and amplify the possibility of bringing in wealth and abundance into that sector. So, and it's a wood element, it's a wood year now. It's going into the wood snake. Yep. So wood is all about strength and growth, So, so if we...
So southeast, you say?
Southeast sector of your house.
That's the financial bit.
Yep, the wealth sector. So make sure that's not cluttered, and make sure there's no leaky taps or, holes in the wall, or paint that's falling apart, or anything like mold and mildew. Get rid of any of that.
What about the fact that in my house, that's where my feet go on my bed?
Oh, is that right?
Does that mean
putting your foot in it?
I have put my foot in it. So do I have to move the bed?
Put a bucket of money there, and then your feet will be standing in the bucket of money.
Okay,
only kidding. It's only a joke, but you could try
charms down there, and away we go. No, but I'm just trying to be practical. I thought to myself, okay, so the southeast corner, boom, that's the most effective way I can kind of.
Well, it's not just the corner; it's the whole sector.
The whole sector.
Yeah. It'll probably encompass a whole room or 2 different rooms, or half of 2 rooms.
Bathroom, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. So bathroom, that's fine, because you've got a wet area. So it's always good with feng shui if you've got one of your wet areas in a wood element sector, because then the water naturally waters the wood.
Yeah.
When you look at the Chinese 5 elements cycle, where you've got all the elements that feed one another, so you try to have them in this beautiful conductive cycle where one element feeds the other. So water feeds wood. So if you've got any water elements in a wood sector, then it's really good. And you want to avoid the other destructive cycle where, like if you had fire in that sector, for instance, you know, fire burns wood. So you want to avoid fire in the wealth sector.
Right.
So, you know, if you've got an oven there, you've got to offset it with another element to harmonise it.
Okay.
Yeah,
so on the outside, I've got a barbecue.
Oh, really?
So, gee, I'm confused. I've got the water, I've got the barbecue, I've got the fire with that. Wow. Right. Do I need to move the barbecue?
Well, it depends on the layout, but, you know, it's preferable that it's not in a wood sector.
It's outside.
Yeah,
obviously.
What's outside.
I don't have it in the corner of my bedroom.
Obviously. But, you know, what's outside the home also can be contained in that sector. So it's good to look at the placement of all these things, because if it can go in like an earth sector or a fire sector, then it's better. You didn't really want it in your wealth sector if you can avoid it, but it may be the only place to put it. So then you have to offset it with other elements.
Okay. So how would you offset that?
By putting because fire destroys wood, so you want to put.
Sadly, I know that.
Or burns it.
God.
Well, you'd want to add more wood to the and you know, trying to draw away. So you could put something earthy in that sector to draw the fire off and add more wood. But it depends on the situation. That's why when you do a feng shui analysis, you look at the individual sectors and the person living there and how to harmonise the sector for the person.
Okay.
There's a lot to it. It's very complex.
I know. Yeah. Far more than I can work out on this particular thing. Okay, if I need to know more information, how do we get hold of you? Because I know you got a fancy little website there.
Oh, I have. Yes, my soulbirth.com.au. And there is actually a page on feng shui where you can actually contact me to just have a free phone call to talk about, you know, what your needs are and whether you want to have a consultation or not. But
well, you know, I think that's pretty good. I mean, the whole thing about you is very personalised service, right?
Oh, it is. Yeah. That's what I love. I love fitting people into their homes and, you know, and working with the energies, because I'm all about energy, you know, energy flow. So if we can get the energy flowing better for you, whether it's for life, you know, for work or for birth, then I'm, you know, more than happy to help.
So once the show's finished, what's going to happen here is Faye's going to move around all the furniture in the entire studio, the whole place. In fact, you know, we're going to redecorate. What do you reckon?
I don't know about that. I'm worn out. Remember, I've just got ready for a rent inspection.
Exactly, it's been a big day for you.
I can advise you. I'll say put that there and that there.
And with that, we'll end the show. I've got no energy on that one.
Oh no.
Thanks, Faye. Thanks for everything. As always, a great show. Really enjoyed it. A really interesting topic, and sort of I love the fact that it crosses over in so many different things.
It does. And if anybody wants to know more about it, I'm actually running a 4-week online course starting next week too.
Okay. Now, how do we get hold of that?
Well, what I'll do is I'll drop the link to it in the chat underneath the Facebook Live. So if anybody's looking for it, they can just click the link and it'll take you to the page on Eventbrite to book it. But it's just for 4 weeks in a row every Tuesday night for 2 hours each week, and we'll go through all, you know, how you can activate the energies for this year, for the year of the wood snake, to benefit you.
Very cool, very cool. Or you can come to our Sundowner, which is happening next week on the 7th of February. We're pretty close to next week. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Details. On the 7th, meet Faye, meet our other announcers, ask lots of questions. It's a great way to to get information, to network, do whatever you want to do, talk about your business, whatever it happens to be. But it's just a great way of people collaborating, right?
Absolutely. So come on down. Come to the studio and check it out.
Yeah, and with that, we will end the show. This has been, of course, what have you done to the Soulbirth bit?
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. Work with
I'm
amateurs.
just going to sleep here. I'm not so chilled out because the chi flow in here is so calm and relaxing that I'm just like chilling on the couch.
You are. I'll just do it.
But this is Soulbirth.
Here on Edge Radio Australia.
Bye.